Hello and bonjour. Welcome to Paris, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Grisham as we get set for the press conference and weigh in for our main event tomorrow at Glory 88, James McSweeney versus Badr Hari. First of all, I want to thank our sponsors Unibet and Fairtex, as well as our broadcast partner in the Netherlands. That's Videoland and Le Sueur here in Paris. And if you're not in one of those two countries, make sure you go to glorykickboxing.com and find out where you can watch Glory 88 in your part of the world. Of course, we have a massive event tomorrow night. We have a world title on the line in our co-main event as Tiffany Van Soest, in her final fight ever, she will retire, win or lose. She puts her title on the line against France's very own Sarah Moussaddak. We'll hear from both of those fighters as well, including, of course, our main event as Badr Hari squares off against James McSweeney, with the winner getting a shot to enter Glory's Grand Prix tournament coming your way at the end of the year.
Nothing can quite beat a tournament for launching a fighter into the stratosphere as they pit superstars against rising stars, giving everyone an equal shot at reaching the pinnacle of the sport in just a few steps. A few steps through the toughest opponents in the world. From knockouts to pitched battles, Glory tournaments bring the drama every time. Now in 2023, we draw upon our past and take a huge new step forward into a new era of the Glory tournament as we launch the inaugural GLORY Heavyweight Grand Prix. Throughout the year, a series of qualifiers will select fighters for the biggest competition in kickboxing. At Glory 85, Tariq Cookie Asaro became the first man to win a place in the Grand Prix after battling his way through a four-man tournament. Sofian Ladouni followed with a win over Benjamin Adegbuyi at Glory 86.
At Glory 87, Bahram Rajabzadeh blasted his way through the opposition to secure his place in the tournament.
At Glory 88, one of the most experienced Grand Prix fighters of all time, Badr Hari will face off against fellow veteran James McSweeney. The winner will take the next qualifying place in the end-of-year tournament, which will also feature two wild cards from the heavyweight roster. In December, the final 8 fighters will meet in a tournament, and whoever has their glove raised at the end of the 3 fights in one night will be crowned the first Glory Grand Prix champion with a purse of $500,000. The Heavyweight Grand Prix is back, and it's bigger than ever.
What an exciting time to be a Glory fight fan. Of course, we've got that Grand Prix at the end of the year. October 7th, we're going to Bulgaria. We've got Rico Verhoeven back in action in November. And we haven't been in Paris in over 4 years. And the Glory fans in this city have responded by selling out the Dôme de Paris. There are no tickets left. And on that positive note, how about we welcome the co-founder of Glory to the stage, Mr. Scott Rudman.
Thank you. Merci Todd. Bonjour Paris. Merci pour venir à notre conférence de presse. Nous avons un grand spectacle de sport cette nuit, 19h15 dans le Stade de France. Wrong press conference. That's the other one. Plus sérieusement, bonne chance à l'équipe française cette nuit. It's a very big match. But I have good news, very good news for you. The fantastic weekend of sport here in Paris is going to continue. We have the Dôme de Paris, as he said, for Glory 88. Colleagues Todd Grisham is going to tell you about it. We bring up the combatants in a few minutes, the main event and for the co-main. Meanwhile, I wanted to remind everybody of Glory's very deep and long history in France. First of all, our chairman and co-founder and my dear friend and partner in this adventure, Pierre Andron, is French. We've been on this journey together to set the global standard for the best stand-up kickboxing and the best stand-up combat generally in the world. And we have done it 11 years later. Kickboxing as a sport is very strong in France. There are thousands of participants, hundreds of schools and studios. It's a very lively sport in this country. And if you think about it, the French sport of savate, I don't know if you know what that is, but it's been around for 150 years, coming out of Marseille, les Jeux Marseille. This is a French style of martial arts that's been around a very long time. Maybe we'll see some savate moves in the ring tomorrow night, except slapping is not allowed. Glory has been in France since 2015, where we did our first event in Lille. We have done events in Lyon, Strasbourg, Nice, and this is our 4th event in Paris and the 10th event in France. The list of French athletes and combatants is outstanding and goes back to the beginning of Glory. The first guy I remember was at Glory 4 in Tokyo when Bruce Guidon was fighting. But I'm going to give you some names. Those of you who know your kickboxing history, here you go. Jimmy Vienno, Bruce Guidon, Cedric Doumbé, Sofiane Ladouni, he's in the tournament. Freddy Camayo, Nicolas Wamba, Zidane Line, Florent Kouache, Stefan Susperegui, Yassine Ahagan, Guirec Billet, currently the top-ranked guy in our league at the moment, from France. Mathieu Seva, Karim Ben Mansour, Antoine Pinto, Victor Pinto, Coulibaly Dijen, Johan Favreau, Michel Palandre, Abdallah Esberi, Eddie Slimani, Karim Ghajji, also fighting, Pascal Touré, Abderahmane Coulibaly, Nordine Mahieddine, he's here. Sarah Moussaddak here, representing Lille, fighting tomorrow for a belt. Jonathan Maezo, Dagli Camara, James Condé, Ilias Shakir, Anne Angaville, and of course, Jerome Lebana. Rumor has it he's going to be in the corner for one of the guys fighting in the main event tomorrow night. So you can see Glory's roots go. My good friend and colleague here, Mr. Grisham, and let's get this go. Let's get this going.
Indeed. One more time for Mr. Scott Rudman. Okay. Let's bring out one half of our main event, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen him in Glory before. His record, 47 wins, only 8 losses, and 31 of his wins coming by way of knockout from London, UK. Please welcome Mr. James McSweeney. All right, James, you've been around this sport a very long time. I'm not calling you old, but I am saying you've been around the sport for a very long time. There's been rumors that you and Badr were going to fight as far back as a decade ago. It didn't quite happen. Now the moment has arrived. How do you see this fight going?
Of course, I'm very confident for the fight. Yeah, we're not old. We're just the opposite to young, right? So, yeah, I'm very trained for this fight, very prepared. I feel like I've been preparing for Badr for a very long time. I helped Alistair during his camp. And, of course, we were set to fight back in May. That didn't happen. And then now here we are in September. So, yeah, I'm very ready.
You said yesterday when we were speaking to you that you're kind of glad the fight didn't happen 10 years ago. Why is that?
I would have been very underprepared. You know, Badr back then as well was extremely at the highest level in his game and was doing extremely well. It was like longer than 10 years ago, actually. But still, as he is always, Badr's a veteran and one of the best in the sport. But the world's recognized in K1. So, yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen back then.
And finally, what does it take to beat Badr? What do you have to do in this fight to get the job done?
It's a big hurdle to climb. You know, it's a big wall to jump. Badr has power, he has speed, he has intelligence. He's a veteran. You know, he's got experience on his side. It's a tough fight, but it can be done. We've seen it done, and we're all men, right? We're all beatable, and that's the thing about this sport. What makes it so beautiful is that the challenge is there, and that's why I got into the sport. I got into this sport, not just kickboxing, but MMA, combatives in general, was to test myself against the very best guys in the world, and that's why I'm here today.
Well, good luck to you, and we'll open the floor up a little later on so that all the journalists in attendance can ask questions as well. But right now, without further ado, let's bring up his opponent. He has an outstanding record of 106 wins, 16 losses, 92 knockouts. It is unheard of, ladies and gentlemen. One of the greatest kickboxers of all time. He is the golden boy from Morocco, Badr Hari. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Hari. How are you feeling today?
Good.
So what are your thoughts now? The last time we saw you in the ring, you were contemplating retirement, and yet you've decided to do it again. What made you come back?
I just enjoy fighting. And sometimes you just feel like something is not ended yet. So for me, this was the decision to keep going. Like I said, I'm not just finished yet. There's still something in there, so can't wait for tomorrow.
When you heard it was going to be James McSweeney as your opponent, what do you know about him, and what do you think of the matchup?
With all due respect, but for me this is a personal fight, so it has nothing to do with him. This fight is really, really, really personal. So I don't care who my opponent would be in this fight.
The winner of this fight qualifies for the end-of-year GLORY Grand Prix. Were you adamant that that be part of the stipulation to have this fight? Did you want to be in that tournament?
No, I don't care about this Grand Prix. I just want to beat this guy tomorrow, that's it.
Okay, let's open the crowd up for questions for Badr or for James McSweeney. Go ahead. Yeah, please raise your hand if you would like to ask a question.
Hi, Badr Nesemi van Videoland. Ik heb heel wat persconferenties in mijn leven van jou gezien. En ik heb het gevoel dat we telkens een andere soort Badr te zien krijgen. Ene keer misschien wat vrolijker, de andere keer wat anders. Vandaag zie je er heel intens uit. Is daar een reden voor?
Ik heb vandaag ook geen zin om vragen te beantwoorden. Dus I'm not in the mood to answer questions, so you can ask everything to James. And I'm just ready for the face-off and ready to fight tomorrow, so okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Go ahead, ask your question. Go ahead and ask your question, it's fine. Any language you want.
بدر مرحبا بنا عندك وان شاء الله تغلب غدا. بغيت غير نسولك واش غدا ان شاء الله الا غلبت غادي تقدر تفكر في الاعتزال وشكرا.
All right, how about a question for James McSweeney? Anybody have a question for James?
James, we often talk about that, or it's often said that Badr is a little bit old now. He's not the Badr he used to be anymore.
I wouldn't say that to his face.
However, you're actually 4 years older than him. Are you still the fighter that you used to be?
Well, it's different, right? Because same as Badr and I, we've been around a long time. We're extremely healthy. I think with the way the sport was 20 years ago, there wasn't access to recovery the way it is today. There wasn't access to nutrition the way it is today. And the sport has evolved so fast. With other sports that have come in, it's left the level of nutrition to another level. You're seeing guys like, they're competing, they're doing very well, and they don't sound like the whole career you're kind of like dying for this, where your aggression and your experience kind of meet in the middle. And then when you get there, they say, oh, you should be done. This is the end of your game. You know, I've just been craving for this feeling for 20 years, and now I've got it. You tell me I should be done. So I don't agree with that. I think it's all about a personal choice. Every fighter up here, I don't know if Badr agrees, but we decided to fight for our own reason. We didn't ask for your permission to when to start fighting, and I certainly want to ask for your permission when I stop. So I fight for myself for my own reasons. Badr is one of the very best in the industry, and he's proved that time and time again. It's an honor to fight him. For myself, I have my own personal tests. So it's just about us going out there, performing the very best we can, put on a show, seeing two veterans from different fields compete, and entertain all you guys.
So you saved the best for last.
I'm sorry?
You saved the best for last.
I don't know if it's last, but I can see the finish line. I don't know if I'm at the finish line yet, but yeah, we're way past our halfway point, right? We're way past that, which is that experience that we're just talking about. We have the experience to show how to control a fight. We have the experience to push further if necessary. But I would definitely recommend not counting anyone out by their age.
All right. I have one more question. I actually wanted to ask it to Badr, but since he doesn't want to answer questions, maybe you can answer it. At the moment, Rico is the champion. He said that he didn't want to participate in the tournament. What do you think it says about him as a champion that he doesn't want to participate in an 8-man tournament?
I don't think it says anything about him as a champion. I think as a competitor, I think the tournament, to be in the tournament is, I've never been in the official K1 tournament Badr has. There's a lot of guys that have been in that official K1 tournament and their names will always go down in history. And let alone to win it, just to be in that tournament. So I think as a competitor, it's great to put your name up there with the greats. But yeah, everyone has their own path, right? So no one to judge.
Let me just say, I don't think I've heard him publicly say that. In fact, I've heard rumors to the contrary. It all depends on how his fight goes November 4th. I think if he blows Cookie out in the first round, doesn't suffer any injuries, of course he's coming back from reconstructive knee surgery, I think he might consider being in that tournament. So I wouldn't count him out just yet. Any more questions for James?
James, you're tomorrow not only fighting Badr, but also a whole Moroccan army of 6,000 men. How are you going to deal with that?
We better get a bigger ring. Listen, to be honest, all joking aside, everyone has their fans. Badr has an amazing fan base. He's built it up over the years. And to be honest, I've had a lot of people message me privately and say, you know, we're Badr fans, but we wish you success and so forth. So I love the fans, whether they're on his side of the ring or my side of the ring, it doesn't make a difference. We're going to fight. We're going to put on a great show. Best man is going to win. That's it, no excuses. And you guys should just enjoy buying your tickets and sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
Yes, Hesam from Sport Zone. James, you said last time that nobody already knocked you out in your career, and Badr Hari used to knock some fighters out, and he used to make tremendous first round, even last time against Alistair Overeem. He highly dominated the first round. Do you expect the first round and the fight tomorrow to be really tough?
Of course, every round with Badr is going to be tough. Yeah, of course, you always know Badr comes out fast and strong. And to be honest, then he's very smart with his energy output and he's very smart with his techniques throughout the fight. So every round for me, I believe, is going to be an uphill battle. But that's why we're in the fight, right?
All right, one or two more. No, we're good. James, final question for you. Your message to your fans. And a lot of people lose fights before they even happen with Badr because he seems to be so intimidating. Are you intimidated by him at all?
No, I'm not intimidated by any man. I don't fear men. I fear God. God is the only person in my life that cannot be beaten. Doesn't mean that he's not an imposing figure, I can tell you. But that's what we're in the sport for. We're here to fight. And I'm no more intimidated him than he is of me. So, yeah, that's why we both agreed to the fight, right?
All right, no more questions, Badr, but would you like to say something to your fans before we weigh in that are watching around the world? Nope. All right. Robbie Timmers, our director of talent, will come on up, and we'll get ready to do the weigh-in and then the stare-down. James McSweeney will step to the scale first, please. $118 kilos even for Mr. James McSweeney. And now to the scale, Badr Hari. $118.6 for Badr Hari. And now the stare down. Tomorrow night, live around the world, James McSweeney versus Badr Hari. The winner qualifies for Glory's end-of-year, one-night, 8-man heavyweight tournament. Sold out, Dome de Paris. It happens live around the world. Go to gloryfights.com to see where you can watch this fight tomorrow night. And ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, we'll hear from the two women squaring off in our co-main event, Tiffany Van Soest versus Sarah Moussaddak.
His reign over the division now dates back to April of 2013. It's the King!
The King still reigns supreme.
You guys look beautiful! Undisputed!
What a stunner here in Rotterdam. New star perhaps being born here. Give up, not give up.
Nothing can quite beat a tournament for launching a fighter into the stratosphere as they pit superstars against rising stars, giving everyone an equal shot at reaching the pinnacle of the sport in just a few steps. A few steps through the toughest opponents in the world. From knockouts to pitched battles, Glory tournaments bring the drama every time. Now in 2023, we draw upon our past and take a huge new step forward into a new era of the Glory tournament as we launch the inaugural GLORY Heavyweight Grand Prix. Throughout the year, a series of qualifiers will select fighters for the biggest competition in kickboxing. At GLORY 85, Tariq Cookie Asaro became the first man to win a place in the Grand Prix after battling his way through a four-man tournament. Sofian Ladouni followed with a win over Benjamin Adegbuyi at GLORY 86.
At GLORY 87, Bahram Rajabzadeh blasted his way through the opposition to secure his place in the tournament.
At GLORY 88, one of the most experienced Grand Prix fighters of all time, Badr Hari, will face off against fellow veteran James McSweeney. The winner will take the next qualifying place in the end-of-year tournament, which will also feature 2 wild cards from the heavyweight roster. In December, the final 8 fighters will meet in a tournament, and whoever has their glove raised at the end of the 3 fights in one night will be crowned the first GLORY Grand Prix champion with a purse of $500,000. The Heavyweight Grand Prix is back, and it's bigger than ever.
So we've heard from both of the combatants at our main event. Now let's hear from the world title fight. Women squaring off in the co-main event tomorrow live from Paris. It's a rematch, ladies and gentlemen, as Sarah Moussaddak challenges Tiffany Van Soest, who'll be competing in her final ever fight. Let's bring to the stage first the challenger. She fights out of France and is believed to be the future of kickboxing. Please welcome Sarah Moussaddak.
Bonjour.